We are live.
Call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting for May 24th, 2021 to order. Roll call.
David?
Here.
Melanie? Here. Craig?
Here.
Becky?
Here.
Jay?
Here.
Andy?
You here?
All is present.
Okay. David, would you like to lead us in a prayer?
Lord, thank you for this beautiful day you gave us. And Lord, give us the counsel, the wisdom tonight to make the decisions for our citizens of the village, and be with our mayor, Lord, as she makes decisions for our village too. And Lord, be with the people that's still been touched with the terrible virus, and give them that healing hand touch tonight. And also, Lord, be with our great country as we go into Memorial Day soon, and all the veterans who sacrificed their lives. In Jesus' wonderful name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the minutes from the council meeting held on May 10th, 2021.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Craig, Melanie?
Yep. Roll call.
David?
Yes.
Melanie? Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
And I'll pass this around when we do our reports.
Okay. Mayor's report, I really don't have anything right at this time. We'll go to President Pro Tem report. Jay Petty?
Absolutely, thank you. First and foremost, we've had some events going on around the village. I unfortunately had not been able to attend anything. My 6-month-old daughter and myself were fighting ear infections all week, and that was fun. But we had, I think the zoning, I think we had our little, kind of showing off the map there. What's going on with zoning. We had the open house at our water plant for the whole village to see what's going on, how it works, how things operate. And then we had a great event Saturday, and I heard it was phenomenal. It just was amazing turnout. I mean, just seeing hundreds of people outside, enjoying the weather, enjoying the community, enjoying vendors, from small business or local businesses to startups to side gigs. And it was very well done. I heard so many good positives. You kind of, so to say, turn it. I'm also going to address a lot of these naysayers and negative people on Facebook, because I think they need to be called out as well. We love to talk about what's wrong with our village, but no one steps up or shows up to offer any solutions or suggestions. We had the open house at the water plant. People love to talk about our water. Why aren't they showing up? Or calling, asking real questions about it. In regards to, I said we had a great event this weekend, and of course, the only thing, there's a lot of positives, but man, there's a lot of people who ran their mouths about traffic. They had to find something stupid and negative to talk about. But where are you at? Where are you at? What solutions, what help do you guys have? And when I say this, I'm saying this not to be negative back, but to kind of call it, let's be better then. What do you have that we could be so much better? And I'm gonna stand behind our team that worked their asses off to make this event great. And unfortunately, the bridge is out. Unfortunately, traffic wasn't ideal, but what solution? The best solution, I believe, was closing down Main Street right here. And I think phenomenal. It was a great turnout. It protected what's going on in the middle. I think if you try to push things to the side streets, you're creating chaos. So I know it's easier to go on Facebook, especially for some people trying to run for council on there. Come to the meetings and have a real discussion. I'm a little fired up. I'm ready to go. But man, we had something great happen. We had something amazing happen in this community for once after a year and a half of being told to be shut down, be quiet, do this, do that. You know what? Just shut up and let the community get together and have a good time. And if you feel that there's some things that could be better, show up to our committees. There's plenty of them. There's parks and rec. There's water, again, the ones I talked about before, streets. If you guys are concerned, show up, community. That's all I got. But everybody's awesome and having a great day. It's warm outside. Grass is growing, and cicadas are out, and it's wonderful. Sorry, there we go. Bye. Have a great day. Thanks.
Okay.
Good job.
You go from that. Just to add on to what he said, it wasn't perfect Saturday. It was great, but it wasn't perfect. And is there room for improvement? Absolutely, absolutely. But come, like he said, come and reach out to us, not through Facebook, not through the negative comments. Come and bring your suggestions. We're open to listening. We want to make it the best every single time. So let's get in it together, and we're in it to win it. So, yeah, and kudos to everybody that worked so hard this weekend. And that even includes the youth league too. I mean, I know they had some challenges this weekend, but the village is coming back from a hard time, and we're all still a little bit on edge, and we're still trying to figure out, you know, how to navigate through what is still lingering out there. So just be kind to each other. That's all I ask. Be kind to each other. Public comments and visitors. We'll start with Deanna Pettit from in regard to the Summer Jam event sponsorship.
Wonderful. Can you state your address, please?
My business address?
Yes.
27 South London Street,
Okay, thank you.
Mount Sterling.
Ohio.
Ohio. Great, and like Marcy said, my name is Deanna Pettit. I do own Hammer Time along with my mother, and this is her, Nancy Ford. We are the owners of Hammer Time. So I did not get to come to this Saturday's event. I had to work, but my mother did, and she had a great time, by the way. I think she even passed out some Hammer Time bags to some people and was well received as well. So she had a good time. So in that, we were kind of thinking about what it was possible that we could do to be a part of Summer Jam, or how we can help. We have donated to the community. We will continue to do so. I always say that we are a safe, community-based, fun place, and we want to keep doing that, and we will continue to do that, even if this request gets denied. But in that, I know that the streets are already, or were already, approved by ODOT and everybody else to be closed. So we're not asking for anything new or any new closures. We're just asking to take a part in Summer Jam. And how we would do that is House Bill 669 was signed by the governor. And he said that we could have outdoor seating. Okay, we're allowed to extend our seating outdoors. Now with that, I want to point out that I did ask, it's nothing that hasn't been done before, because I think 2 years ago, behind the pavilion, there was an area where it was set up behind a band where they had some alcohol being served or something. Stop me if I'm wrong. And of course, that's what we're talking about. So in this House Bill 669, it has to be adjacent to the property. So it's not anything I could run at a park or anywhere else, which I understand there's logistic issues with being able to do that with insurancing and who owns it and everything else. So in this extension of outdoor seating, it is under my liability, it is under my insurance. It would be run by me and my staff. It would be cleaned by my staff and I, and it would be upkept, and I'll be there to make sure everything goes well. We've been here since 2019. I wish the sheriff was here so he could tell you again. We've not had one incident or phone call to Hammer Time, right?
I mean, I would say for certain without looking.
Look it up and email it. I guarantee it. I'll guarantee you. We've not had any police calls to Hammer Time. But we do take care, and we do love our community, and we're going to be that community-based place and make sure that everybody's safe. So with that, it is Summer Jam. And again, I'm looking at how I can work with the community to do something fun for the community. And here's our answer, basically. If we can have outdoor seating, what can I do to make it more fun? Well, I'll pay for 3 bands on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. I've been told that we have a wagon we can put them on. I have tents that we can put up. I have seating that can be provided. We have some bleachers we can put on the side. People can bring chairs, sit in front of the band. The outdoor seating will be back from that. And they can bring outside food in. So I don't have food right now. I'm working. We got some walls built, guys. So our food's coming, but we don't have it yet. So they can still go get something off the food truck or one of the other businesses and bring that to the area, sit, listen to the band, or hang out for the day. And also I get asked all the time for kids karaoke. And we do that twice a week. We do it very well. and this would be a great venue to be able to have kids karaoke outside of the pub, still sponsored by the pub, but again, it's outside where it's an open area. So those are the things that I wanted to talk to you about and ask permission. Of course, time is of the essence here, because I do have to staff it, get those things going, that sort of stuff. I mean, I've been told I can get trash receptacles from Kroger. We'll haul the trash to wherever somebody tells us to haul it or help out. And I'll field any questions you have, if you have any.
So what is the location exactly? I know you're saying outside, is it just adjacent, you already had the outside?
I'm gonna approach you, sir.
Yeah.
Now, don't laugh at my drawing, okay, because I'm not gonna architect.
This is not a napkin,
Okay, this is not on a napkin, but there's us.
so you're saying right out front?
Yes, because
Okay.
remember, the key is for outdoor seating, it has to be adjacent to the location, okay? I can't have, outdoor seating down the road and have it. It has to be adjacent to my property. And I want you to know too, that not only is that House Bill 669 there, and I did look it up, research it, but I also called our liquor agent for this area, Diane. He's worked with me since we got here and had all these problems and signs and everything else. Because she's absolutely very policy driven. That's been my whole career for 26 years. I continue to follow those rules and guidelines wherever I'm at. And she also guaranteed me, yes, it can be done. I would need a simple email from the council saying that that's permitted, and then I have to let the police department know, and I will give a copy to Diane at the Division of Liquor, and I have some other parameters to follow as far as signage and roping the area off. That's true, yes. We have to
Yeah, I was
rope it off.
gonna ask you about how open container doesn't start wandering around.
Because that area has to be roped off, and sir,
There you
I'll
go.
be there. And if you know me, I've managed a prison for 26 years. I'll be on my toes.
That area would be controlled then, basically,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And like I said, I'll staff it.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Because I've been in rock and roll bands when it's not been controlled and it turns into a circus.
Yes, now, you know, we're talking about perhaps having a band come in at 7, they usually pay 3 hours. I want you to know that, you know, most of these bands are between $400 and $600 that I'm offering. Karaoke's probably around 200, so I'll pay for those, again, from 7 to 10, and then we'll clean up the area and make it real nice for the next day and start over.
Anybody else have any questions?
So a motion is going to be asked by Hammer Time Pub to allow the beer garden during the Summer Jam event of June 17th, 18th, and 19th. That would be what the motion is.
I'll give you that motion.
Second.
Okay, so Becky was first, Jay was second.
Roll call?
I have Melanie.
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
And David.
No.
The motion has passed.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have Alan Chambers of 293
You got it.
North Market Street in regards to a fence dispute, a permit, and websites, something.
And while he's speaking, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please.
He has provided some language from our website, Mount Sterling's, mtmountsterling.org, as well as some pictures. I did try to label these, so I will pass them around.
Thanks. Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Council, for hearing what I have to say. I appreciate the time to speak. So my wife and I moved to Mount Sterling in November of this last year. We like it. It's been pretty warm and welcome, and it's nice to meet everybody, and I even know some of the people here. So it's been really kind of nice. We've noticed around Mount Sterling that there has been some issues sometimes with how properties are maintained, and it's no secret that you know, there's vacant properties and houses and overgrown and trash and things that just aren't picked up. And I know that the council and everybody here wants to make that better, and they've been trying, and there's a lot of things in place to try to make that happen. So I came to a nuisance and abatement meeting when I first moved to town to try to figure out what I could do or what they were doing or what was happening. So I like to be involved in the community. So when I went home, I told my wife, we're pretty much going to have to manage what we see from our back doors ourselves. So my neighbor has some things that in their yard that I don't necessarily agree with. They don't maintain their property like I'd like it to be maintained. So I decided I wanted to put up a fence. So my wife and I made some calls, hired a contractor. We have a survey that was done. The pin survey placed the property line markers. I called the county, Madison County in London, and asked them what the rules were for putting up a fence in Madison County. They said you need to get hold of Mount Sterling, see what they do. Called Mount Sterling, didn't get an answer. I did go to Mount Sterling's webpage and looked about fence restrictions and fence permitting in Mount Sterling, where I produced a document. I saw it, printed it off, and it says that fences under 6 feet do not need a permit in Mount Sterling. So I proceeded, and I installed a 50-foot wooden 6-foot-high privacy screen on my side yard so that I have a better view. Our plan is to landscape. We've already got the beds put in, the mulch is in, the dirt's in. It looks really nice, and it's improved our view tremendously. We're not looking at the street, people's cars, and people's things. A month went by. We talked about Facebook today. I know the president mentioned Facebook, and on Facebook, a month later, we got hammered from the neighbor over and over and over and over about this fence screen. We didn't talk to them, and we didn't approach them, and we were inconsiderate, we weren't nice people, and the fence was installed incorrectly, just on and on and on. So I didn't respond to that, because I don't find that that does anybody any good. You know what I mean? So I thought, well, I'll do what I need to do. A week later, I get a letter from West Jeff. Somebody in West Jeff named Tom, who's the building official in West Jeff, says he represents Mount Sterling, and you were CC'd on it, Mayor, that I was in violation of some ordinance about putting up fences. I need to have a permit. I need to fill out this paper, send in the fees, and maybe schedule an inspection. That's not what the website says for Mount Sterling when I pulled off the paper. So it's mixed messaging for the residents. Back to Facebook, that's what I was telling Courtney earlier. Every day there are questions on Facebook about whether or not a fence permit is required. Many, many residents are posting this particular document that I have here today that I passed around that shows 6 foot and under does not need a fence. I understand you guys wanted to contract with West Jeff for doing your permitting. I didn't know that. And I couldn't find that, and it wasn't easily accessible for me on your website. So as a resident, I'm asking for some relief on this 6-foot privacy fence permit that I'm supposed to get. It was professionally done. We had a survey. We had oops out there. Everything was marked the way it should be. There's a photo of where the fence lies. It looks to me like it's A-okay. It's under 6 feet. 6 foot's all exactly. It's a wooden fence. In those pictures, you can see what my wife and I were looking at. You can also see a fence that has been allowed to exist in the village. It's been there since we've lived here. And lastly, what pictures of the fence are and where it's separated. So like I said, I'm asking for some relief. I'm asking that things be ceased with this permit for fencing until there's a clear message to the residents of the village on what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Alan, have you been agitated by your neighbors too in between while this has all been going
No,
on?
we've never spoken. I don't even know the neighbor, anything about that person.
I just wondered.
We try to keep to ourselves. There's been no verbal altercation that's went on between me and my neighbors and anybody. Actually, I like most of my neighbors. They get along great. And they were happy that we were there. We took an old home, rehabbed it completely, worked on the lawn care, brought the lawn back so it doesn't stick up this high, there's not mud everywhere. And we're bringing our area back to life and bringing some value to the community. That's all we're trying to do. So thank you for hearing me out. And like I said, I don't know what the process is or what I need to do, but I can't imagine I would need to dig up my fence and pay fees and fines, because on their website it says if you build without a permit, you get a fine, $200 first offense. I don't think that's right based on what I saw on the website. So thank you.
Well, thank you for bringing it to our attention, and I would assume we would probably need to talk about that at planning and zoning, and
That's right.
then possibly,
No.
no? Okay.
What would need to happen is, we can simply just contact Tom, because in that letter, if you read the letter, it just says that, he would need to speak to make sure that it was done properly. Obviously, he had a contractor, that installed it professionally, so, we would just need to refer back to Tom, and ask him, what needs to happen at that point. But according to him, I mean, I will say, the website does have that language on there. It clearly states it here that it is 6 feet,
And under, yeah.
that it does not need to have a permit. So we'll just need to go back to Tom to see how we can figure this out internally, so we won't need to wait until we meet.
Excuse me, so should I hold off on responding to Tom until I hear from somebody
Well,
here?
what I was thinking is, we would just contact him on our behalf, I'll get your contact information.
Okay.
And I'll just give him a call tomorrow morning, so. If you wanna
Fantastic.
write yours down, we
Sure.
can handle it from there.
Thank you.
Cause Tom will, he
Okay.
sent the letter, he's gonna need a response.
Yeah, I mean, if I need to pay for a permit that's $40, I don't mind doing that, but I just don't wanna have to be digging my fence up and going through all this hassle,
Right.
because I just did it based on what I read.
Yeah. So that will be something internally we'll need to.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, Becky.
So I'm assuming you put these pictures into like the Rosewood
That's what
picture?
that is, correct?
Yeah. Well, on nuisance, trust me, we have been trying to tackle this one for years now.
Right.
We have made progress. It's hard to see from this picture and hard to believe probably since you're new. Like we've gotten one of the junker cars out of the yard, and we at one time had the dogs down to just 2, and now it's back up to 10 again. And
Right.
so this is a constant problem, and we are working on that. And then these pictures, the blue house, that's your neighbor?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, I understand your fence of why that's there as well. And I will make sure, again, these 2 properties that you've brought, we'll take a look at them at nuisance and abatement as
I
well.
appreciate it.
And, I mean, we're really trying, but
I
you
know.
coming to one of our nuisance meetings, it gets to a point where, like, it's hard to figure out who has the teeth to finally
Right.
enforce it. We keep tagging them, we keep warning them, but I think they figured out that,
I understand.
maybe we
Like I
can't.
said, I don't wanna, we just wanna take care of ourselves.
I understand.
Put up our own fence. I don't wanna look at it, so I put up a fence.
Hey, Alan, like I said, you're wanting to have something neat, and I don't blame you a bit. You want something to make an area look good. Yeah.
Okay, executive session, we don't have one today. That takes us to department reports. Sheriff report?
Sorry, I'm dropping everything. Sergeant Jacob Gibson on behalf of the Sheriff's Office, thank you.
I'm sorry, what was your?
Jacob Gibson, Sergeant, and the Second Shift Patrol Supervisor here at the Sheriff's Office. Unfortunately, the Sheriff and Jack could not make it down themselves today, but they asked me if I could come in.
Thank you, thank you.
Provide you guys a copy of our nature report.
He wanted me to bring it up today, and I forgot. What's the road that Mr. Spradlin
How you
lives
doing, Jay?
on? Diane's husband.
High Street.
He wanted me to bring up something to the sheriff tonight.
He ended up talking to the sheriff.
Oh, on Saturday? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I talked to him
Oh, okay.
yesterday.
Yeah, yep. Got it. Okay, thanks.
Anybody have any questions?
I mean, I can answer some questions. I know I did talk to the sheriff on my way down here. He did let you know that he had heard your concerns about getting some numbers on local citations and citation numbers, and he is working on that. He didn't want you to think that he was blowing off that. So he is working on it. It's a little bit difficult, as I know that you all have talked about before, the way that we keep records typically by township and then breaking out what the actual buildings themselves that way. So this is our in-house record system sort of navigating through that. So he did want me to express to you all that he is working on that, and he understands that that's important to you to get those numbers to you. If you do have any questions, I'll try my very best to answer them. So please.
I just have a citizen, and he's spoken to the mayor too, and I believe another deputy this weekend, but I promised him I would mention at council meeting. He just wanted you guys to really be aware of North High Street. He said there's just a lot of speeders and everyone on that road is complaining. So maybe if you guys give that an extra look.
Okay.
I actually talked to that gentleman as well. I also talked to 4 other residents on both High Street and 2 residents on New Street. So let me give you just a bit of context for this. The speeding occurs typically first thing in the morning about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and of course, when everyone's coming home, about 5 to 6.
So when you say the first thing, tell me what that is to you.
School bus times.
Okay, all right.
Anytime when kids are getting picked up and dropped off, and obviously we don't have too much longer on that, but it's a really big problem because these particular streets are cut-throughs, and it feels like there is not a lot of patrolling which is going on, and shift changes are causing that, and also there's lots of farming. Obviously now is the time, planting season, everything, we got it, but there's a lot of cut-through, and so it's a huge problem right now, to the point where the village is going to start installing stop signs in some places and looking at speed bumps in others just to break the speed down a little bit. And so if Becky's gotten complaints, I've gotten a ton as well.
Right.
So,
I mean, as you all know, I think we're all suffering together because of the 62 closure.
Oh, absolutely.
And has this made that sort of end?
It has.
In town, has this been miserable to be?
yeah, if you could make a diligent effort to just circulate around, because it's pretty predictable. I mean, you can set a stopwatch by it, so to speak. You can do that. So thank you for listening to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they know that when, they had the bad crashes that closed down 71, it was me, myself, we were out
Yeah.
driving traffic there at the intersection of Cemetery, trying to control that.
Yep.
And like I said, with 62 being closed, it's miserable for everybody.
Yeah.
Us included, because it's, we're getting inundated, running just north of the village here, with just a lot of traffic, taking a lot of crashes there, and we're taking, I will be as glad as you all in 62.
Absolutely. We'll take the bridge open in September. It's going to be a long, hot summer, I think.
Quiet at my place.
Any other questions, ladies?
What was the lost driver? Was somebody confused or?
Well, so again, we get, that has been very prevalent of late with the 62 closure. So people are finding their way or getting routed some way. I don't know where they come from or where they go to. But, again, when I was working the intersection down there on 71, when that 71 closure was there, people would come up and they're coming from New Jersey, California, as soon as, and it doesn't even have to close 71. As soon as, everybody is on Waze, everybody's on these GPS apps, and as soon as it starts flagging to them, like, hey, you're going to expect to slow down, do you want to reroute? Well, it reroutes them through all of these, small communities, in rural America that haven't quite been used to that sort of traffic. And then let alone if you have a closure, you get, and so that's typically what it is. Is somebody has gotten themselves off of 71 and they're trying to make a shortcut that they turn into a long cut because they get lost halfway through.
I've been in that situation. There was a person from New Jersey in front of my house, and and I said, "You're a long way from New Jersey," but I'm glad you explained that. Thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to Law Director report. I don't have anything from Mr. Stevens, do you?
Yep.
Okay. Utilities Clerk, Ms. D.
Okay, sorry about the road, I didn't realize we were doing so loud, but Courtney brought that to our attention.
I could just hear the echo
Wow.
down the hallway. And it's right by that mic, so.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, just wanted to give a quick report on some of the delinquencies. And first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for their patience lately. I mean, not everybody, but most people out there, I really appreciate you being patient. Just with everything, just with all the calls coming in. There's not very many of us here that can answer them, but we're doing the best that we can with the manpower that we have. What else was, I had all this stuff I should write down during the day. But anyway, we have some delinquents that are way better than they were. We're waiting on a little bit of money from the county. There's still money out there. It's just our residents have to ask for it if they're in need. Don't be embarrassed about it. If our residents don't get it, somebody else will. So that's what it's there for, and they're constantly getting different funds in. So they might be out, this month, but get a whole different grant in next month. So just call me, text me, email me. I know my cell number's out there on Facebook, so if you got my number, text me. Anyway, the delinquents are down to 72, 76. going down pretty quick. I know the stimulus checks really helped out a lot. And
Missy, is
there's-
it coming down very quickly now?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
happy, and it's,
definitely
Good,
is,
good, yeah.
according to these numbers, the
Yeah.
last.
yeah. And, so like I said, 1470 of that, around a little over 1,400 were, pretty much guaranteed that from the county to come in. The guys read meters today, they'll continue to read them tomorrow. We have a lot of questions regarding the, pool fills. I think we had 4 calls today regarding that, and a hot tub, filled up too. That's pretty, exciting for them.
Can you share, I think this is a great opportunity
Maybe.
to kind of advertise for our water plant, because it's already been a million requests, like, where can I get water, where can I get water?
Oh, yeah.
Boom, go, this
Well,
is your platform.
we had somebody call today that, they're filling their pool, pretty large pool. Last year, they had somebody deliver water, and one delivery's hundreds of dollars. And I know the water bills are a lot, I get that, I see them, but the water's very inexpensive, it's a little over $5 for 1,000 gallons. So here they're gonna fill that same pool, for around $78. So what we do is, we get a reading beforehand of their meter, and then when they're finished, we get a reading afterwards. And if they use, say, 5 units or 5,000 gallons, we'll deduct the sewer off of there. And the sewer is a little over $9 for 1,000 gallons. So, you know, it makes a big difference, only paying a little over $5 for that water. It's just, you know, puts it in perspective how inexpensive it is. I know I'm gonna get reamed for saying how low the water is, but it's that debt fee service that just, you know, just raises that bill so much. But a whole unit's about a little over $14 for 1 unit of water and sewer. Yes, this is.
So the way you're talking about is if they use their own hose to do it, right? Now there's another option. Our fire department obviously doesn't do it anymore, but you can get someone to haul the water. They can come to our water plant and fill up there, right? There's another opportunity to do that. So when we had our pool filled, we just got a guy with a truck who filled it 3 or 4 times from here, and the water's pristine, and it was a lot cheaper than them hauling it from 2 hours away back and forth 4 times. So we do sell bulk water that way too, if you have a
And
truck
you're
to haul
talking,
it.
how many gallons was yours, like
30,000.
something like that? And, you know, it was empty and full just like that. The hose, you know, residential hose is around 600 gallons an hour, so they fill up pretty quick. You know, the average little typical pool is around 5,000 gallons, so it doesn't take too long to fill it up. Might be a little cold, but at least it's nice and clean. So I think that's about all I have. Any other questions? Did I answer that okay?
No, it's perfect, I was like,
Okay.
I know that was getting warmer.
I see it too.
Yeah, I was like, that'd be a good opportunity to kind of share, because everybody's
Yeah.
looking for someone to haul it, and it's like,
It's so expensive. I mean,
Yeah, if you have.
to haul and fill mine, it would have been close to $2,000, and I used my hose. I just hooked up I used a hose like from the well, but I hooked the water up to soft water, unlike Courtney, where her water's now yellow because she
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, I mean.
She doesn't live in town.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But I have a well, and I filled mine up, and it does have, the iron is in the bottom of my pool, compared to, you know, if you were to have clean water, city water.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Went through a lot of salt, lot of money right there, but clean water is amazing.
Okay, if there's no questions, thank you.
All right, have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zoning, Mr. Hale, does anybody have anything for Mr. Hale? No? Fiscal officer,
Okay, I'm assuming Craig may have his reports for the water, open house, so I won't talk much to that. Him being as the chair, he was there both sessions, so he may want to talk a little bit about that, but, everybody received their packets, everybody received their reports. These reports were ran from May the 1st to May the 21st. Again, we are going into January, February, March, April, May, June, almost into the second quarter. So, things are looking good. Again, these reports are shared weekly with our state auditors. And, I'm working right now on, kind of what I always do, in trying to save money or gain money. And, there are about $500, around $600 actually, in some, invoices that I have found, that we could get refunds in. So I'm looking to get that in credits to some of our vendors. When we used to have a cell phone plan here through Verizon, through the village, they charged us there, and I'm trying to recover some money from that, like before us administration. So there's gonna probably be some credits on your receipts that you guys are gonna see that you normally never see before. So just please take a look at that. A lot of things that you're gonna see on here is environmental engineering services. As you know, the bids are gonna be going out very soon on the water project grant that we got approved of last year. So again, you'll see a lot of, on your payment listings, a lot of environmental engineering costs. Again, these monies are gonna be taken out of our $50,000 that we transferred, remember, in our budget last year, to take care of this. So this is not a new item on here. This is, something that was planned from that grant. Let's see. Nothing else that, we paid our property liability insurance that you guys approved in the last couple meetings ago. So you're gonna see a big amount there at the very bottom, but everything other than that, Madison Messenger, as you know, what Misty's saying and what Andy also says about fences, there's a lot of people that are asking for variances. So you'll see a lot of Madison Messenger's advertisement because we legally have to do that when there's a variance. So you'll see some Madison Messenger probably here in the summertime, if people are wanting variances. So other than that, I don't have anything that stands out for me. Is there any questions from council?
No.
Okay. So I would ask for a motion to approve the appropriation status report, the revenue status report, the receipt listing report, the payment listing report, the comparison of budget and appropriated report, the cash summary by fund report, and the reader report.
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, so that was Andy and David.
Roll call?
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay? Yes. Andy?
Yes?
David?
Yes.
Melanie? Okay, and if you guys could please sign both of these as we pass them around. And Marcy, you don't have to on that one.
Okay. Takes us to committee reports. Finance, Andy.
I don't have too much to report as it relates to the Finance Committee work, which has been ongoing throughout pretty much the most of the month of May. The only comment that I would have would be to make a quick side journey as to grants. There's always a lot of talk about whether or not Mount Sterling can apply for grants. We actively apply for grants. One of the challenges that is associated with the grants is many of them are matching grants, particularly dollars that come down from the feds. So you have to have money to start money, or to start getting money, in other words. So we have on our long-term horizon things to think about in terms of grants as it relates to our water towers, and I won't steal Craig's thunder. But we always are looking towards those things, and the water project, which Courtney is talking about, is a matching grant. We had to have some money, seed money to start, and we got a really, really nice matching grant to make that possible. But it took about a year's worth of work in order to actually do all that. So we continue to chip away at stuff. These are absolutely things that we continue to go to anyone who will listen to us to write a solid grant. And I guess the only last thing I'll say about those is thank you for everybody who's worked hard to put, because it's been multiple community involvement from multiple community members in order to make some of that happen, including partnership with EMS and fire. So thank you for all that, and we'll look forward to getting that project underway.
Thank you. Pleasant Township, Melanie.
Next meeting is June 7th, 7 p.m. at the Township. Open to the public.
Squad, Jay?
We just had a simple meeting on the 12th, which they normally have their meetings on the second Wednesday at 8 o'clock at the Squad Bay. They kind of just make sure everything's good internally. We did have a additional meeting on the 13th, which was that following Thursday, just to interview two the word I'm looking for?
Candidates?
Volunteers?
Volunteer, yeah, I can't do the word, volunteers. So, we had that, a really fast, short meeting, but, pretty short and sweet this month, so.
Fire, Craig?
I have no report, but our meeting is this Thursday night at 8 o'clock, 27th.
Water, wastewater? Craig?
As Courtney said, the open house at the plant, or water treatment plant. We had about 15 people showed up, and they all seemed to enjoy it, and there was 3 kids come in, they all had water, and the techs out there let them test it, and they had a good time too. And our meeting will be June the 2nd at 9 a.m., and that's all I got.
I want to add, those were my children at the water treatment facility, so it was a neighbor boy, and it was our house. We brought 3 samples, so we brought one from my house, one from the neighbor's house, and a bottle of water from Kroger's, and Mount Sterling water, all tested better levels than the bottle of water at Kroger.
And they actually got to see how it was, so
Nice.
it was chemistry.
They had a blast.
Awesome.
Very good. Street, Sandy?
We're getting ready to have a busy time in the streets department. I'm pleased to say that we have set a target construction start date for the work on Clark Street, which will begin basically the first week in June, which is coming up pretty darn soon. So we're looking to start the Clark Street construction and major pothole patching construction probably on or around June 1st. So that's very good news that we have weather clearance, and I know there's been a lot of when are we going to get this thing rolling, and we're managing through that as best we can. Next up are alleys and other potholes that we can patch ourselves, and we're looking at signage. We're back ordered on a large number of stop signs, so we need to get those back in stock, excuse me. And then before we can start putting those up here in late spring and early summer, followed by potentially another round of potholes in the fall. So that's on deck. The streets committee will continue to meet on this. It's a problem. We're playing whack-a-mole with large potholes, and it's tough. So every time we fill one, it opens back up. But we do appreciate our support from ODOT, and I'll give a special shout out to them. They did a very nice job patching up London. It needs more, but the fact that they were able to step in and help us with that a little bit was super, super, super appreciated. And we thank them for all their partnership over the years for that. On that note, June 2nd, 8 a.m. will be the next street meeting.
I will say, in a trip to Columbus recently, like last week, their roads suck as well.
Yeah,
So it's a universal problem. I will say that. That doesn't really make it any better, but.
and Columbus doesn't plow residential streets.
Huh. Yeah.
So, it's a problem.
Andy, I'm gonna bring up at the street meeting too for block watch. I'm wanting a block watch sign on Shadle. And I will bring that up.
You got it. Thank you. Please do. Add it to the agenda.
Recreation, Melanie.
I think
Oh.
there may be one, let me check
Okay.
that, David,
Okay,
in the other office.
yeah, okay, thank you.
Super excited the summer's coming, it's starting. Movie night, our first movie night is May 29th. I hope everybody can come out and bring the kids. They usually hear something about maybe providing some popcorn for them. I don't know.
We're opening concession stand for real. Of course, we have to figure out the popcorn situation because of the health department.
Okay, so they usually will have the concession stand open, so there'll be treats you can get. We have some giveaways, we're gonna do bike safety theme, so I hope all the children in the community can come out. It's June 6th at dusk. New people started.
May 29th.
Oh, I'm sorry, May 29th.
That's our next,
wrong date.
yeah, that's our next.
May 29th.
This Saturday.
This coming Saturday.
This coming Saturday, yes.
Is it safety?
Bike safety.
I guess it's bike safety Steve. I like
I
characters.
don't know who that is.
We got two
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
in
they
the
would
class
dress
here like
up.
bike safety Steve. That's what heard that name.
And then our next flea market is June 6th. Right, they're on the email, right? We have been getting really good feedback, like Jay was saying, it's a good opportunity for everybody in the community to come out, have a good time. If you have extra things you wanna get rid of, set up a booth. If not, come support the people that do. I do have a food truck who is supposed to be there. We have some residents who want to receive offerings, so it's gonna be a good time if everybody comes out. And our next meeting is June, no,
7th?
yeah, June 7th. At
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Okay. Record of retention, Andy.
I think that we are a go for Friday, June 4th for our next meeting. I'm looking to, I think I set that the last time and have gotten confirmed since then, so we should be good to go. We'll have a great report in June,
And that's at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
All right, nuisance and abatement, Becky.
I don't have much new. We did make a lot of progress with the community cleanup on some of the nuisances. There are more, but we're working diligently. Our next meeting will be June the 2nd at 3:30.
David, would you like to comment on the report
Yes,
that was given at the church?
Yesterday, at the Nazarene Church, our mayor, she was not able to be there, so I represented the town. And Courtney was one of our movie stars on the video, and she was showing the high school kids, and it was such a great time. They had a great video. And I thanked him for the working relationship we got between the Naz and the town, and it's such a great thing and everything, and they were so receptive and are so eager. They're actually talking plans, maybe down the road, maybe have a second one even yet this year. So, and everybody was good with, and Reverend Starr wanted to thank the village for their support too, and it was such a great video to see.
Can you
But they
tell-
didn't get my good side in the video, that's the only thing.
Can you tell them how they can view the video?
Yes, get on the Nazarene website, you can get to see the video, and you'll get to see Courtney. No, it's a great thing. And Mayor, they really appreciate what town did, and I've
Is
really
that the
great.
Mount Sterling Nazarene Church.com?
Yeah, and I'll get you on the video, and like I said, it was so great, there was a good turnout at the church, and when I went up there, I said, we just got a beautiful village, and I always told him, I said, Jesus said, love thy neighbor. We saw that example on them days everybody was out doing stuff. I also said how the ladies and the teenagers, and of course Becky's seen this too, where they took time to pick them weeds out between them bricks. And I said the veterans are looking down from heaven smiling, and everybody loves the picnic tables over there too. I gotta bring that up and everything. But it was a good day and a good report.
Good, good.
I will let you know, David, Nuisance has a second cleanup day scheduled for the fall. It is October the 23rd, and it coordinates with Make a Difference Day. So we're hoping to have some Make a Difference projects going, as well as community cleanup. So maybe
Maybe I
let
could talk to NAS and we get work coordinated again together, which would be great.
Yeah.
Be great.
And there were, I did field a lot of comments about how well it looks over there, and so that's really good to hear.
Yes.
Okay, safety block watch, David.
And the block watch, I had some family things, of course, you know about that, and so we didn't get to have a meeting, but we will be having a meeting on June 10th at 4 o'clock, and we're going to be discussing about the night out, which I think will be good for the community and everything, and so we'll be discussing that, and also the block watch signs, which I brought up. I'm wanting several signs on some certain streets. And another thing I want to talk about, this is my new scam alert. I always listen to the radio, and this one here, if you get a call and they don't tell the name of the bank and they want to know your bank numbers, slam the doggone receiver in their ear, because they're not wanting that. All they're wanting is your numbers. And I should word it differently, but that's all they're after. And they're actually targeting senior citizens. And it's going on in Madison, Pickaway, and Fayette. And what they say, we said, we need the numbers of your account because we lost your account number. If they're that poor, you don't need to talk to them anyway. So, but just be on the aware of that. And then we'll be meeting on June 10th at 4 o'clock. Thank you.
Okay. Planning and zoning, Andy.
I'd like to thank everybody who took the time to come out and see the new zoning map. It is again just an attempt for us to kind of figure out where everything is right now, because the last zoning map is 25 years old, and the village looks a lot different. So thank you, everyone who came out and gave us feedback, got a chance to take a look at it. Hopefully, it helps business understand where, where there's a residential neighborhood and where there's a business zone. So thank you for that. Other than that, keep on coming. We are meeting the first and third Tuesdays at 6 o'clock.
That's right.
So we are a little different than the other committees in that we automatically meet twice a month. Thank you.
Okay.
There's some legislation in here for tonight. that
Yep.
We'll be talking about.
Okay, well, that does take us to ordinances and resolutions.
Okay, the first one is ordinance 2021-05, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with Valtech Communications. This is on the third reading.
Motion.
Second?
Jay, then Andy,
Roll call?
Becky,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Melanie, Craig.
Yes.
Okay, now we need a motion for passage of ordinance 2021-05.
You had that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, David was first, Craig was second.
Everybody's eager to go home, right?
Yeah.
Roll call?
Jay,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Melanie, Craig,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2021-05 is passed.
Okay.
The next one is ordinance 2021-06, an ordinance accepting the financial recovery plan / budget for the water operating fund in pursuit of the Ohio State Auditor's Office. This would be on the second reading.
Is there a
I'll make that
motion?
motion.
Okay, that was Craig.
Is there a second?
Second.
Becky was second.
Roll call?
Okay, Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Melanie, Craig,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Motion passed on the second reading. The next one is ordinance 2021-07, an ordinance amending ordinance 2019-27 on adopting procedures and methodologies for the payment of water and sewer bills. This is on the second reading.
Is there a motion?
Had that motion?
I'll second it.
David? Andy?
Roll call?
David?
Yes.
Melanie? Yes. Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Motion's been passed on the second reading for ordinance 2021-07. The next one is ordinance 2021-08, an ordinance to assess a flat rate administrative fee to all water consumers in the village to now include each apartment and condominium unit, so that the administrative fee is applied uniformly in the village. This is on the second reading.
Motion. Second.
That was Jay first, Becky was second.
Roll call?
Melanie? Yes. Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Motion has passed for the second reading on 2021-08. Okay, the next ordinance is ordinance 2021-09, an ordinance to adopt standards and fees for obtaining a demolition permit. This is on the first reading.
Would somebody like to explain that a little bit?
Sure, we don't have a uniform demolition permit today, and so the the Building and Zoning Committees have recommended that we adopt one because it's open-ended and undefined. So as a result, it's, as residents can understand, there's been some houses that are in the process of being torn down, pardon me, excuse me. Ugh. That have been protracted a little bit. So we took a look at how all of that was working and decided to put together a more uniform ordinance around that.
Is there a motion?
I'll give you that.
Motion.
Craig?
Okay, that's Craig.
I'll second.
Andy?
Roll call?
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2021-09 has passed on the first reading. Lastly, ordinance 2021-10, an ordinance to adopt standards and fees for obtaining a right-of-way permit and declaring this as an emergency. Would you like to
Yeah,
explain
so
that one as well?
this is one in which we have contractors who come to the village for a lot of different purposes. Natural gas, cable, electric, and there is no uniform standard today as to the requirements to dig something up and put it back the same way as you found it. So as a result, I'll give you a great example. You go down Chestnut, there are natural gas taps which were installed, the lawns of our residents dug up and sidewalks upended, and we got what we got. So this needs to be fixed literally right now. And the reason why is because we anticipate a very busy summer. There's going to be a lot going on here.
And it just becomes our problem.
It becomes our problem to resolve when it's those folks who have come to our town and dug it up and now they need to put it back.
And we have had companies that have asked for the right-of-way permits.
To their credit, they have.
Yes,
To their credit, they
right,
have, because
exactly.
most other municipalities do have a standard in place. For whatever reason, we never adopted one.
So is there a motion to suspend the rules for 2021-10?
I'll give you that.
I'll second.
That was Andy, David,
Roll call?
Becky,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Melanie, Craig,
Yes,
Is there a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
that was Craig, then Jay,
Roll call?
Jay,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Melanie, Craig,
Yes,
Becky,
Yes.
And now a motion for passage of 2021-10.
Motion?
that was Becky, Melanie,
Roll call?
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Melanie, Craig,
yes,
Becky,
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2021-10 has passed.
Very good. That takes
you.
us to roundtable. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Always have a lot to say. I do want to thank Jay for his kind comments about our street market that we just had. And I will tell you, there is a lot of chitter chatter on Facebook, but I will tell you the majority of it is good. And I just want to first, in regards to the street market, it was a hugely successful event. I want to personally, Barbie Wallace, who spearheads the market crew and does and does a majority of the work. I just, we could not find a more gracious friend and volunteer for our community. So I just want to thank her for all her hard work. You don't deserve the abuse that you got. I apologize for that. But these street markets, I just want to kind of let the public know, they provide like three things. I kind of narrowed it down to. They provide a great event for our community, first off, an opportunity to get outside again, socialize, shop, eat, have fun. And then we provided a great event for 40 plus small businesses. I believe we had 34 vendors, 2 food trucks, and at least 4 shops that actively participated, brick and mortars here in our town. And it gives them, those businesses, the opportunity to meet new customers, sell their products, make friends, and network. And then thirdly, it provided a great event for the village. We generated revenue throughout the entire community. We brought in out-of-towners, Deer Creek campers, people from all over who will come back and continue to come back and add to the economy of Mount Sterling. So it's not self-serving for the people that are organizing it, it's for the community. That is the only reason we spend all of our time and energy doing that. So I just, want to again say thank you. It was a great event. And with that said, also, I want to give a shout out to an upcoming event that's going to be held at the community center. There's an outdoor crafts show on June the 5th. It is a fundraiser for the community center, which we all know is a very worthy cause. And another very wonderful volunteer working to organize that, Tamara Hall. It will be a fantastic event. She always does put on good shows.
What's the hours on that?
That is Saturday, June the 5th, I believe. Oh, darn you. You gave me wait a minute, it might be in my book.
Community Center
Center.
website.
Yeah, Barbie's gonna
That's okay.
find it real quick. It's either, we'll find it here in a second. Before I'm done talking, we'll have the answer. And then Melanie already mentioned this Saturday, the movie night. It's gonna be a ball at Mason Park. And then,
Dusk, like what is considered,
at dusk for Mason Park. Yes, it's at dusk. And I can tell you that's 8:30-ish. It's when, because we were out marking streets and it got dusky on us, didn't it? So about 8:30. Yeah, that's a made-up word. But
dusky-ish.
And David briefly mentioned the American Legion Memorial Day coming up, and I was reading in our paper that the American Legion will be having an in-person event this year. That will be at 10 a.m. on Monday, May 31st at Pleasant Cemetery. Madison Plains Band will be performing there, and there'll be a small service and a salute with the guns and things. But they're asking if you want to attend to try to assemble around 9:30 a.m. And there will be another short service following at the United Methodist Church in Mount Sterling. So if you want to, participate with the American Legion and celebrating Memorial Day, there's a couple of opportunities. As Melanie also mentioned, June 6th, there's a food and flea at Mason Park on 207. Also, the community center is hosting Dolly and Me Tea this year. Last year it was canceled, but that's a wonderful opportunity for a parent and a child to go and have tea with their doll, and they sell all kind of little doll dresses and tea sets, and it's really a good time. But I do believe you have to have tickets ahead of time, so if you need those tickets, reach out to the community center.
What's the date on that?
That is Sunday, June the 13th.
The community center's spring bazaar is Saturday, June 5th from 10 to 3.
10 to 3 for the June 5th event. There we go. Thanks, Barbie. See, I told you she was valuable.
And the Dolly Tea is June 23rd from 4 to 5:30.
June
June
23rd or the 13th? I have the 13th.
13th. Sorry.
Oh my goodness, sabotage.
And
Okay.
what time was it started?
It is from 4 to 5:30.
4 to 5:30. And then lastly, we kind of touched on Summer Jam is coming. Summer Jam is our big celebration, and it will be downtown on London Street. But we did hear that there were some traffic problems, so we have figured out some solutions for those that drive through Mount Sterling. And ODOT, we have reached out to them, and
We do on each event.
as we do every event.
And there's not a permit that's required. I'm sorry to jump in, but there's not a permit that is required because we are detouring within the village. If we were to detour outside the village to other state routes, that is when a permit is needed. So each time a road closure is requested upon council, it is then approved by ODOT, so that there's no confusion.
Yep. So,
I do.
so that's already been approved. So that's a good thing. And with Deanna coming tonight, it's really exciting. She's going to have an opportunity to grow her business as well. And she's being very gracious and helping out the Chamber of Commerce by providing the music for all 3 nights and providing some children's karaoke. So it's going to be really exciting. We've added a lot to the festival, and I know people are ready to get out. This is the one where there will be rides and games. And I will tell you, we don't have the entire lineup finished yet, but Saturday, the 19th, will be wristband day. A lot of kids want to know that. So it's a $12 wristband, and you can ride from noon to 4, unlimited. So, they only have a half a dozen rides, but you can ride them unlimited for those 4 hours. And I know we're going to have a lot of neat things going on at that. And let me make sure. Yeah, I think that's all I have.
I want to bring up too, Becky brought about the Legion, but any veteran wants to be with us, since I'm one of the commanders, if you want to take part firing of the rifles or something, come here at 9:30 and we'd be glad to have you for support. And I really enjoyed the pro temp report tonight, Jay. I'm glad Jay said it the way it is, because people want to complain, but they never want to come in front of the public. And hey, Jay, I give you a thumbs up. I'm glad you did that. And that's
No, I'm jumping, sorry. We actually have been asked, we'll present this to the Parks and Rec as well, make sure we're all in coordination. We've been asked through Chase Valley, they actually are the ones that kind of run this whole league thing for our youth league, and we partnered with them, but they have asked us to host the 12 and under boys tournament here, which is awesome. And we don't have dates yet and specifics. Of course, we had a whole week of rain, so that really skewed a lot of our schedule. But we're excited that they asked us to do that because, obviously to bring some events here, that means revenue. That means not just the ballpark, but also our village as well. So I'll just want to at least get that little out there, just to kind of everybody knows, so we can support our boys in green, which I think they're green, and our boys in green on the field, and they've been playing phenomenal. So that's kind of an awesome opportunity as well for our community to come out and have a little fun and enjoy the boys this summer.
I will say that Saturday, we were in contact with the Sheriff's Department in regards to the traffic issues, and we had Deputy Campbell, he came to my house yesterday, and I kind of picked his brain a little bit about what we could do, and so just for anybody that is listening that is upset about the traffic situation, please know we are working on it, and yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah.
All right, if there's nothing else, oh, yes.
You need to extend the hours of the park for the movie night?
Oh, what are our hours? 10?
So dusk, I believe.
Oh, wait, okay. Is there a motion to extend the hours for the park for the movie night?
Well, I'll make that motion, but I'd like to make it to cover all 4 movie nights that we have scheduled.
I suggest just make it for any movie night, that way you don't have to do it again.
I'll make it for any and all movie nights that we schedule.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Okay, hold on, sorry. That was Becky, then Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I left with, okay, David,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Craig,
Yeah.
Becky,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Thank you, Robert. Okay. Anything else? All right, have a good week. We're adjourned.
Thank you.